Gadgets on Nyberg tonight. I want to introduce David Benoit and Kim Gluch. Thank you so much for being on. We're going to talk about Wearsafe and where it came from, how it got developed, and how it helps with safety. Tell me how this first started. How did you think about it? What were the events that were going on that made you say, we've got to do something about this?
Sure. So this happened many, many years ago. And it was
3.5 years ago,
right? 3.5 years ago,
which
surprisingly.
seems like 100 years.
Time does fly, right? But we started sitting down with a bunch of friends of mine, former colleagues actually, and we started to talk about things happening in the world and whether we could actually do something to change it. And of course we had all learned about what happened in Cheshire. And you know, when we sort of learned a little bit more about
the Cheshire home invasion, where a mother and 2 daughters were murdered.
Absolutely. And as we started to look at that situation, and we looked at the prevalence of smartphone usage amongst society in general, it became, you know, sort of widespread and very adopted. And those smartphones started to advance in terms of technology.
Also, Sandy Hook came into play here.
So that was 2012 as well. So that was the same year where we started, you know, that was the summer, I believe, of when we started sort of looking at this. And in that situation as well, you know, to the best of our knowledge, many of the staff and administrators and teachers probably had smartphones on them at the time.
And maybe that could have helped.
Absolutely.
We've got, just to get to this gadget real quickly, and we'll talk more about it, this is the evolution of being an entrepreneur and an innovator.
Yes.
What is number one that you looked at? And the deal behind this is to press it and get help right away, correct?
Yes, exactly. The idea is that the smartphone can do some wonderful things, but there's a lot of times where somebody may not be able to reach for that phone, either because it's not close to them or because they're in a situation where reaching for the phone or making a motion for the phone could make the situation worse. So
and how did the two of you meet? We've got to get the the partnership here.
David's wife and I went to high school together in West Hartford, Connecticut, and we met up after I moved back from New York. He was looking for some branding help. And I said, sure, that's what I do. Let's meet and talk about this. And I went through how I'm a graphic designer, but I do corporate identity work. And he said, I have a project coming.
So you rang her up and said, you're my gal, we're going to do this. We're going to do this Wearsafe thing.
I did. And
only then it wasn't called Wearsafe.
And I won't tell you what the name was because I actually, as a lawyer, and my co-founder is an engineer, we have very little creativity, you know, within the two of us. And we came up with a name. Actually, I came up with a name, which I thought was really wonderful. And we came up with some graphics and some logos. And then I presented it to Kim. And Kim said...
And she's your marketer.
Yes. And
I am. I'm a branding consultant. So it spans marketing through corporate identity, but basically everything that surrounds the brand. And I said, oh, that's an interesting name. I think we can do better.
That was a resounding theme, and we'll show you some of the products here in terms of the development of the product itself.
So let's start with the first one. So so you said, okay, Wearsafe, we're gonna wear it.
Right.
It's gonna hook up to our smartphone or smart watches that we'll get to in a second. So tell me about this, David.
So this device, which looks very much like
looks like dental
floss. Correct. It looks something like that would be in my bathroom drawer. And you can see it's got screws and a plastic case and you know, protruding little button. Certainly from the perspective of firing this off accidentally, this wasn't designed to do that. But at the time, we had just finished coming off a semester program with Trinity College, where we were accepted into their entrepreneurship program. We had 25 students who helped basically do a lot of research for us and helped us to refine and actually define what the product would look like for college kids. And so we were able to take a number of the students, the female students out of that class, and we said, hey, we'd like to do an alpha test, which is not even before beta. So this is very early on.
Oh, right.
And we said, hey, we've got this very crude app that sits on your smartphone, and we'd like you to carry this device for about 4.5 weeks. And we didn't give them any instruction. We said this isn't a safety product, but of course you know what it's used for. Please don't use it.
In case a child is you know, having issues on a college campus.
Exactly. Or if you feel uncomfortable, or if you happen to need assistance, you know, the premise is that you press the button and your friends will be alerted. And so we allowed them to carry this for 4.5 weeks.
And how did it go?
that was the tipping point for us. We didn't give them any instruction on how to use that. And we sat them down independently and we said, well, how do you feel about this device? And we didn't want one to sway the other. And two girls used the word empowering. And that was the whoa moment. And we said, well, tell us more, you know? And one girl actually did crew. She was on the crew team. Another girl, I believe, was on the rugby team. And we got them right during the class period, right through exams, all the way to graduation. And one girl said, I stayed at the library all the way till it closed. And I would take your device out of my hand and put it in my hand. And I walked across the quad to my classroom, to my apartment. And I felt like my friends were with me.
So that is a winner as far as marketing and branding.
Absolutely.
You made somebody feel safe with this.
Yes.
So it goes, and not to move you rapidly, but I want to get through the succession of what happened then. So this is square, then it started to get smaller, and you wanted it to not be obtrusive.
Exactly.
Right. Well, there are some real design considerations with this. One, people don't want to carry more things. I mean, we're all in a society where we have our phones, we have our bags, especially women, we carry a lot of things. So the idea is to make this as simple to wear as possible. But also it has to work and the range has to be there, so the technology within has to be.
What's the range on it?
Well, funny you should ask. We found some studies that came out of Facebook a couple of years ago, and they said 92% during a 24-hour period, the smartphone is within 2 or 3 feet of you at all times. And we said, that's an interesting statistic. Let's make sure we can go outside those parameters. Because oftentimes, you know, we'll have the, if you're like me, the phone will be in the kitchen, I may be in the backyard playing with the kids, or it may be in the car, and I may be, somewhere. But I could find myself, or a user could find themselves in a situation where they're not just 2 or 3 feet away.
Right.
So over a tremendous amount of research and development, we got over 225 feet, which is a very long, sort of distance to be from your phone. And depending upon the activator, we have a smartwatch which we've converted into an activator as well. And we obviously don't control the design of that, and that range may be shorter, but 225 feet is a long way to be from your phone, but still we wanted you to be able to send out a
So all of these generations, and is this the final? It weighs hardly anything.
It is. This was the very last prototype. Now, the wonderful thing about being an entrepreneur, Anne, in this day and age, your ability to define form factors of a thing, something that is manufactured, you have all this technological advance at your fingertips, where 10, 15 years ago you didn't. I mean, right now we are at our manufacturing facility watching production quality devices come off a steel mold.
This is it.
And that is it. That is a production quality product. Except for the color.
All right, you can wear it on a blouse. You can wear it on your jeans.
It comes with the initial offering will come with 3 attachments. So we'll have, and they just slide in. So we'll have a loop that works really well on, let's say, a zipper, and then you tuck it in your pocket.
Or a lanyard, whatever you
want. A lanyard, and the lanyard can also work with the ring attachment, and then the clip. And, we foresee that this will be used in all of your daily activities. So from skiing to biking, to running, to walking to class. I mean, it can help you in any scenario. So you'll be wearing all sorts of different outfits for these activities. It has to work in all of these different parts of your life.
Which brings me to, how does this work? Let's demonstrate how this works.
Sure. Okay. So what you've got is, you've got 2 components, and we refer to our product as a platform, because the platform resides in software form on your smartphone, but it also resides in a product. This is our very first product, the Wearsafe tag. Now this becomes the activator. This is the initiator tell the phone, hey, I need aid.
I'm in trouble, I push this.
And we stole from Staples. It's the easy button. Anybody can press a button, right? If you're in a situation
that's what we call it internally.
You could push a button.
There are many markets that can use
Certainly.
It is, and Life Alert only works from the home, but this works wherever you go as long as you have your cell phone.
So it works in a mobile sort of fashion, and also on the watch itself. So we've put software onto a smartwatch. So if you happen to already be comfortable wearing a smartwatch throughout your daily life, well, we don't necessarily need to give you another device to carry. You certainly can. You can have up to 30 or 40 of these devices all acting as activators. So you can put them in every room of the house. Doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you need to have some way of telling the phone, hey, I need you to send out an alert.
Okay.
And so once the alert is sent out, then you can kind of see.
So let's do that.
Okay.
So you're going to,
So right now I'm wearing two smartwatches. This is the Apple Watch and this is the
and
Pebble
I don't
Watch.
have either.
But that's fine. I didn't have either until recently. But I'm actually testing the Apple Watch right now as the designer. I'm working through the user interface, the UI, so that I can better design our app to fit into this atmosphere, this environment. But I am wearing the Pebble, which is already working with the app. So I'm going to press and send an alert.
That means you're in trouble, let's say.
Right. So now what you didn't see was anything happen on my watch or really my phone. So no one near me would even know that I've sent the alert. But I felt a little vibration on the watch
So
to
you
tell
knew it
me
was
that
sent.
it went through and it was sent.
So he was on your list. You get a message. You're getting a series of messages.
Right, so we're sending out a series of messages to really get somebody's attention. So if they happen to have the smartphone in a bag or outside, an office and somebody's sitting there at a computer, they may not hear the phone, but they'll certainly be seeing, an email message come in. And all of those messages all contain generally the same information. It'll show a picture of the person who's in distress. It'll let somebody know, hey, there's an alert. And then you heard the distinctive sound. It notifies me that in my application, so I have the app on my phone, right? And now it's telling me somebody that I care for is in trouble or needs my assistance. And so you can see right here, what it does is it tells me that an alert was sent from Kim. It tells me the time that it was sent, and it shows me her location. And what it also does is if I press this, this would actually play the audio of 60 seconds before she pressed the button. And it'll continue to drop 60-second audio clips into this timeline.
Audio clips from what?
From my phone.
From her phone.
So anything that my phone picks up from my scenario or my situation, my network can hear. So they can better judge what's going on with me. If I can't get to my phone and text into the group chat and say exactly what's happening, they can hear it so they can make a decision as to what kind of help.
Can you see her moving if she's being driven
So as a matter of
somewhere?
fact, I can even come in here and I can expand the view and I can see exactly where she is. And if I needed to, I would see her moving. But more importantly, I can press the navigation button, and as she's moving, it will then redirect me. So if somebody I cared for was in a car, for example, I could literally press this button. It would start the navigation app, and it would constantly update me as that person is moving.
Is this going to go into police departments?
That's a great question, Ann.
Good question.
At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the response. We rely on 911, and the beauty of what Wearsafe can do is it can improve the response for 911. 911 is really a conduit to reach professional first responders, and oftentimes there's a lack of information that comes out of an incident, right? So very critical information is coming out of that phone, being conveyed to people who know and have a context and who now can then engage the professional first responders.
Well, this is giving first responders a lot of information.
It is.
Exactly.
It gives her height, weight,
Medical conditions.
medical conditions. So all of that is
Photo.
entered in. This would be good for somebody in trouble, somebody who's elderly.
Right.
We
What
like to
other
say,
applications?
actually, almost anyone who can press a button.
Right.
I have 2 younger children. I can't wait to give them working tags so that they can bring it to school with them. I'll tuck a phone in their backpack. They never have to look at the phone. It's all about having a button to press. It's easy for children. All the way through high school and through students going into university or colleges. Obviously, we're all aware of the challenges that people face on college campuses these days. And one of the problems is that often these attacks or these assaults are happening in private areas. And so things like the blue lights are not really helpful in those scenarios. And often people don't have access to a phone or can't reach them. So they'll be wearing a button they can press, and then their friends or their family can make the decision if they need to call campus security or 911 or simply knock on the door, really, and keep something from happening in the first place.
So kids that get to college would get one of these, and they get their group together, their whole, safety group. So if I'm in trouble,
we like to call it a network, your safety network.
When do these go on the market, and what do they cost?
Well, they go on the market. We are hoping to launch and mail ship them out in September.
Of this year, 2015.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, of this year. So we're very close. And the retail cost of a tag will be about $39, $40, and a monthly charge for the service is $4.99.
So $4.99 to keep your child safe, or your friend, or your grandmother, or
yes, anyone
you.
in your care.
Right. Do you know when you roll this out what the thirst for this is going to be? Do you have any idea with your marketing?
Yeah.
We're getting some really good feedback, actually. We're currently in a Kickstarter campaign, and we have many, many people who have already signed up to support us. Everyone we talk to gives us a fantastic reaction. We get a lot of people with good questions. It's a new product, so it's sometimes difficult to explain, and people don't always understand it right away. But as soon as we talk about it for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, people's responses have been phenomenal. We see almost any generation respond with, oh, I have someone, oh, me, oh, I go running in the morning, oh, I could use that. So we're really encouraged by the feedback we're getting.
As an innovator and an entrepreneur, is this your first go around at this? You said you came out of corporate, so is this your first stab at this, or is this just the first product of many that are coming down the pike for you, David?
Well, it is the first. We hope the first of many. You know, we view this as a platform, and we have a lot of things in the pipeline that are going to really sort of improve the likelihood that somebody will be able to call for help. And that includes a device that actually will go in your car and will automatically detect a crash or rollover. It'll be charged by, you know, the cigarette charger in your car and easily reachable. We've got another device that will be affixed to your helmet, so when you go skiing or you go bike riding and you fall off, you'll be unable to actually, you know, initiate an alert, and it'll sense a crash and automatically send the alert out to you.
And
so we've got a lot of different sort of enabling devices in the pipeline that we
It's going to keep you busy for a while. And
hope.
all
Well-
of this is being hatched out of West Hartford? Is that where your offices
Well,
are?
we're actually in Hartford.
You're in
We're
Hartford.
in the Parkville area of Hartford.
Which is awesome that this is
Yeah.
being birthed, if you will, in the state of Connecticut. You'll stay in the safety zone, you think, because there's a lot of work to be done in this?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. You know, there's really a gap in technology between 911, which is a fantastic service, and the technology that's available to us right now. So we're really trying to bridge that gap, and I think, you know, we have a ways to go. We're
So
getting there.
It's wearsafe.com.
Correct.
It is.
You've got a Kickstarter program
We
going.
do.
So find it there. And I want to thank you both for bringing this knowledge and these gadgets to us so that we can be safer.
Thank you.
Kim Gluch and David Benoit, thank you so very much.
Thank
very
you,
much.
Ann.
Made a trivial pursuits when one this in. Who is this girl? Spend all night kissing, and if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked to find myself wishing I could find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store of my mind, just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, you know that you need me.